welcome back to Crimson Grey, the Yonderer story. Why didn't I come up with that in the first episode? I came up with a trap's tale in the first episode of My Life as a Maiden. But anyway, back to it, I guess. Jeez. Take anything you need to get better, okay? I'll just leave these here. But you can ask for more water whenever you want. What happens if I just overdose on all these tablets and kill myself? Thank you. Of course, John. I'm doing all this because I want you to get better. He felt like telling her that being held against his will wouldn't help, but her expressions looked so sincere that he couldn't bring himself to say it. How had she gotten prescription medications anyway? He found the ones that he had been most satisfied with just before Miss Smith switched him to Paxitine, and he took his first dose. Lizzie smiled brightly, then skipped back up the stairs. After lunch on Tuesday, Jesus Christ, it's Tuesday already, Lizzie started carrying electronics down the stairs. He blinked in confusion until she brought down the TV and started hooking everything together, or at least attempting to. After a moment, she sighed and looked at him sheepishly. Do you know how this works? I can try to get it. I'll try to get it figured out. He got up, did his best to help. She had a pretty nice VCR, leading him to wonder why she had it and didn't know how to put it together. It wasn't like someone else would have brought it for her. Do you not use this much? Never. I don't really watch television. Like at all? No. She had seemed weirdly apathetic about a lot of things, but he'd thought she just wasn't into pop culture. Yet now, something in her voice made him suspect it was something else entirely. What about music, then? I don't listen to music. Huh, really? Well, what about books? Only non-fiction that seems useful. The rest all feels so pointless. What do you do for fun, then? She stared back at him so long he was afraid she might just ignore the question. Well, I'm sorry I asked. I do enjoy a few things now, thanks to you. ... I spent a lot of time collecting all those knives because I thought they would be useful, but now it's a little different. Now I can imagine myself protecting you. All the details about grips, edges, they're not just details now. They interest me. Oh, fuck. So he'd given her an interest in knives. Fantastic. No, my point exactly. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I thought maybe I could enjoy a movie if I watched it with you. Is that okay? Can we go on the bed mattress and just snuggle, watch the movie? How about that? It'd be good. Mate, you know, I'm practically living with you now, and I have no choice because I'm chained to a table that doesn't move for me. We might as well try. I had it all put together for a while. Okay, what? We might as well try. I've had it all put together for a while. Anyway, we can try it. Lizzie brought a chair and sat beside him. Can we just lay down on a mattress and watch it? You know. And sat beside him as they watched the tape. He was grateful that she at least watched the movie instead of him. It was nothing at all like how watching a film with a girl was supposed to be, according to his friends. Lizzie didn't seem remotely nervous during the scary part, and to his surprise, didn't seem to care about the romantic parts. Then again, he didn't think he really would want her to react that way. It definitely wouldn't feel like who she was. To his surprise, John found himself enjoying it too. Maybe his old meds were doing their job better than he thought. When he finally ended, Lizzie gave a small smile that he thought represented enthusiastic satisfaction. Then she immediately turned to him. "We should watch something together again, but I think I'd rather make our own movie. Please not a snuff film." His mind immediately flashed to making porn together, and he had to force the thought away. "What kind of movie?" he asked nervously, scared, thinking to himself, "Porn or snuff? I prefer the porn because at least I get laid and not dead." "I would like to just film you here, working or eating or anything. I could watch it later." That's creepy. That's really fucking creepy. Really? Wouldn't that be boring? Yeah, it would be boring too, but creepy as well. "No, watching you could never be boring." "Oh, this is such a good idea. I'd go buy one of those video recorders and..." "No, not to cut you off, but wouldn't that be incriminating evidence?" "Huh? Fuck. What was he saying?" "Well, too late to go back now. I mean, it's not legal to hold someone like this, and your basement looks kind of suspicious. You wouldn't want someone to find it later." "Oh, you care." Okay, let me take off. Oh, jeez, the music. Lizzie embraced him cheerfully, and despite himself, John felt a flicker of joy. When she was happy, she seemed so purely happy. "You're right, of course, and I'm glad you're thinking about keeping me safe, even if I want it to be the other way round. John is so kind. But maybe later we can make our own movie, okay? Yeah, maybe. Well, the hell had he just done that? Why the hell had he just done that? Having a tape of her behavior would have been a perfect way to get the police to take him seriously if he managed to escape. Yeah, because, you know. But as soon as he had that thought, John regretted it. He didn't want to see Lizzie hurt, and hated the idea of her going to prison despite what she was doing to him. Yeah. Despite the situation, he still thought of her as a sweet girl who wasn't entirely well. She deserved help, not punishment. Was this Stockholm Syndrome? Was she wearing him down, just like she planned to? The idea disturbed him, but it didn't change how he felt. Oops. Didn't change how he felt. He needed to find another way. On Wednesday, could these days, whatever. On Wednesday, Lizzie wanted to watch another movie, but John suggested that might be too many. Instead, they passed the day quietly working and chatting, and ignoring the fact that he was chained to the table. He was feeling better than he thought he could without Paxitine, so his mind shifted to what he could do to improve his situation. Chatting with Lizzie was pleasant, but it wouldn't resolve their problem. But what should he say? Try to leverage the last few friendly days into her letting him go? Just try to make her relax more? Or convince her that he wouldn't leave her? So Lizzie. go with her interests. You look like you're studying really hard there. Maybe a little. If I don't do this work, then the teacher bother me, and I don't like that. Do you have any favourite subjects? No, they don't matter. Well, maybe chemistry. I started paying attention because it seems so useful, and I guess now I think it's a little interesting. God, she's gonna put me in an acid bath. Useful? Really? Oh yes, chemistry classes were where I learned how to make chloroform. Just give her that stare of, girl, I want to slap you so much right now. You're lucky I like you. It's the same with my knives. I don't need so many, but I guess I like them a little. They're wonderful objects, beauty and functionally fused together. Wow, that was kind of poetic. You thought so? You actually liked it? I'm so happy. For the rest of the day, Lizzie actually opened up a little more about her interests. Most of them were a little disturbing, but he was glad to see her care about anything other than him. The next morning, he took his pill with a glass of water as usual. Lizzie waited until he was done and then gave him a warm smile. I hope it's helping. You seem happier, John. I feel better than I expected. Pretty good, actually. It was actually strange how good he felt, and it was easier not to think about that at the moment. Instead, he brought up an issue that he'd been thinking about for a while. That reminds me, I've been meaning to ask you, you've run out of yonder quail, right? I haven't taken it for days. I destroyed the rest of it the day before our date. You destroyed it? Why? It was useful. It helped me understand, but I wasn't myself while I was taking it. I wish you reconsider taking the medication. Oh no. I wish you reconsider taking the medication. We can't handle everything ourselves sometimes. We need help. You don't understand. It's not that simple. Then explain it to me. I wasn't myself. It was like someone had imprisoned me and took my place. Imagine if your own medication meant that you could never feel sad again. Just constant manic happiness. That does sound horrible. I'm sorry I made you take it. Don't say that. It was useful. Having things be different for a while made it easier to see how everything fits together. But I couldn't take any longer than that. I wanted to be myself again. Koitek doesn't want to help people, John. They just wanted to control them. Are you just saying that to metaphorically, or do you actually know something about them? No. No? Abby was addicted because of them. I never cared about her, but I saw what Koitek drugs did to her. They didn't change who she was. She was always horrible. The drugs just made her identity obvious. Not like you, John. You're still so kind even though you were taking that drug. But they won't be satisfied with that. Are you serious, saying Koitek is some kind of conspiracy? Conspiracy? No, I don't think so. They just want money, and they're willing to cut corners to make it. Yeah, it sounds like every company. I don't care what they do to anyone else, but you needed to stop taking that drug. You need to see clearly. He almost wanted to believe her. Koitek was a huge company, and those weren't exactly known for their ethics. it was pleasurable that they had been testing some dangerous drugs on Lizzie's. It is plausible that they had been testing dangerous drugs on Lizzie's mother. It had probably been too dangerous for adults, but had a magnified impact on a developing child. Did Lizzie see that on some level? Or was she just paranoid about the company? Sometimes she seemed so. And you should stop seeing Miss Smith. She's trying to steal you away. I'm sure of it. Lizzie, don't be ridiculous. She's 10 years older than me. And the school counsellor. Now, when you graduate, that... never mind. 10 years old? That's not that old. Jesus. I can't trust her. You can't. You shouldn't. She's angry. She's pissed. Look at those eyes. Those are eyes of a killer. Calm down. No one is going to steal me away. She stared at him as if she desperately wanted to believe his words. A moment later she gave an odd little half shrug. I came in to say I need to run some errands today, so I have to leave you alone, okay, John? Yeah, sure. She left the room and John knew he had a rare opportunity, but he found himself sitting and thinking. Was it possible that she was right about the Paxitine? He hadn't taken it in several days, and after a few low points he actually felt much better than usual. The terrible irony of depression medication was that sometimes a drug could make you feel even worse. No, not better. Maybe the change he'd attributed to Paxitine was just changes in his life. There couldn't be anything to her conspiracy theory, but he could believe that Koitek would push their drugs on anyone with depression, even if it had mixed results. Things like that happen all the time. Yeah, they do. Abruptly, he resolved that if he made it out of the basement, he would stop taking Paxitine as an experiment. He could stay on his old meds, see if he did better. If he actually showed signs of improvement, even Miss Smith would be happy to let him take older drugs. Regardless, for now he needed to stock off his options and take some kind of action while he had the opportunity and energy for it. He felt like he spent too much time thinking to make an escape attempt, but maybe he could accomplish something else. Just keep doing it. Since the previous test he made had gone over so well, when Lizzie left, John set out to make something else, given his limitations, though it was hard to not to repeat himself. This one made Lizzie smile, but he thought he also saw something in her eyes when she took the food. He thought he heard her whisper something about how romantic he was being. They're the same crap as always. On Friday... Jeez, did we miss Thursday? On Friday, John woke up, stretched, yawned, scratched at his shackle on his leg, and got up to brush his teeth. It was only while brushing his teeth and staring at the wall of knives that he realized how normal this bizarre situation had become. 1 week ago, Lizzie had been asking him out on a date, and they had gone out like a normal couple. It felt like a lifetime ago. When he heard the basement door open, he didn't even glance up. He knew it would be just Lizzie again. He just rinsed out his mouth and set his toothbrush aside. Good morning. Can you believe it's been a week already? I was just thinking that, actually. Hasn't it been wonderful? We've been together every single day. It's bliss. You know, we haven't done anything that we couldn't have done without the kidnapping. But that's the point. She skipped in past him to the walls of knife. Lizzie held her arms behind her back as she examines them eagerly. When we were together at school, part of me was afraid we were both pretending. Even when we were alone, I wasn't myself. Lizzie chose one of the knives from the wall, caressing the edge slowly before taking it up. She turned to him, eyes unnaturally bright. A normal boy couldn't have done all those ordinary things with me after seeing the truth. You're saying that I'm not normal? And I wouldn't want you to be. She came closer, knife swaying back and forth as her gaze remained fixated on him. She was close now, close enough that she could have kissed him or stabbed him. I want you to learn that you shouldn't be afraid of me. You know, I would never pick up a knife to hurt you, right? I wanted an answer. Kiss her. Instead of answering a question that might have any good answer, John leaned in forward and kissed Lizzie gently. She gave a surprised gasp, kissed back for a moment, and then suddenly pulled back. John, why did you kiss me? Isn't that what you want? Yes, it's exactly what I want. You've been giving me exactly what I want. This isn't right. I've ruined it. I've ruined everything. Lizzie, what are you talking about? You thought you needed to manipulate me, didn't you? Play with my feelings so I wouldn't hurt you. This is all my fault. I drove you to this. Lizzie rushed out of the room and slammed the door behind her. When she returned later the day, she pretended like the kiss had never happened. John did the same. But he couldn't help but feel like something was different. On Saturday, Lizzie announced that she wanted to make a huge meal for both of them. On the last day, she asked what he wanted to eat, then headed out for a shopping trip. Lasagna, please! As soon as he was sure she was actually gone, John got up and took a deep breath. He didn't have much time left before the vacation was over, but what did he want to do? Don't try anything. Though John considered a lot of options, they all felt futile. He was basically in Lizzie's power, so he might as well accept it. He tried to find a more comfortable position, slumped in his chair, head leaned against the back so he could stare up at the basement ceiling. All he could hope now was that she would decide to let him go. Maybe there would be something he could do to encourage that, but at the moment he had no energy to think. For now, all he could do was wait. Everything was in place, including him slumped down in a chair. He could only hope that he had done enough. He waited in silence while Lizzie went about upstairs, putting away what she had brought. Eventually, he heard the door opened and she skipped down the stairs with a smile. You know what? I'm gonna leave it off there. Let's save it. So, I've been your main man, Aaron Paradise. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share all that fancy stuff. Thank you, and goodbye. See you in the next episode.